Major update! Breaking news for the FGO worldwide server, directly from Kanoyoshiki to San himself. Servant coins, append skills, and an all-new maximum servant level cap of 120 are coming on May 23rd, over 1 year earlier than expected. Originally on JP, they were released to coincide with the game's 6th anniversary, but we're getting it before the 5th. This news video will answer the following questions, and you can find chapters in the timestamps below. Number 1, what are servant coins? Number 2, how do you get them? Number 3, what are they used for? And finally, we take a brief look at the future of servant coins as they will gain an all-new function down the line. Servant coins are unique tokens registered to each particular servant and that can only be used on that said servant. For example, Kuhalin and Sasaki Kodro have tokens that are individual to themselves. They cannot be pooled across servants. These servant coins can then be used to help improve the servants in 2 specific ways: append skills and grailing. But before we explore those options, it is important to answer how you actually get servant coins. With the exception of welfare servants, there are 2 different ways to obtain servant coins for a particular heroic spirit. The first is simply by summoning the specific servant. Now, you receive a different number of coins depending on that servant's rarity. For example, if you summon a 5-star, you get 90 servant coins for that servant, whereas if you summon a 1-star from the friend point banner, you only get 2, with 4-star, 3-star, and 2-star servants all being somewhere in between. The second way is by bonding the servant, and this is consistent for all servants across all rarities. For bond levels 1 through 6, you receive 5 coins per level, while from 7 to 9, you get 10. And then finally at bond level 10, you receive 20 servant coins. For each subsequent level thereafter, namely 10 to 15 for bond grailed servants, you will also receive an additional 20 coins per each bond level. The exception to this are of course welfare servants, whose servant coins are instead purchasable from the event store. I provide these numbers first to show how for all the benefits that are coming, and this is one of the game's most exciting developments, they all do come at a very high price. So that's how you get servant coins, but what are they actually used for? Well, the first is to unlock newly implemented append skills. These are 3 additional passive skills each servant will gain. The first 2 are consistent for every servant in the game, while the third is somewhat unique and often ties into their lore in some way. The first, provisionally titled Extra Attack Finesse Improvement, bear in mind this may not be the name when officially translated, improves the performance of that servant's extra attack. This includes not only its damage, but also its NP gain and star generation, all by between 30 and 50% depending on level. The second is mana loading, which allows servants to start the battle with NP battery. As a result, this one is often the popular choice to unlock first. Servants are able to begin the battle with between 10 and 20% battery. The third and final skill for every class except Berserkers gives the servant up to a 30% attack bonus against a specific class. For example, Jason, likely due to his fear of Medea, gains up to a 30% damage bonus against casters. The exception to this are Berserkers, who instead gain critical damage chance resistance against a specific class. It is important to note that servant coins are only used to unlock each of these append skills. Thereafter, standard essential materials, gems, QP, and finally a crystallized lore must be used to level them up to level 10. Also note that once you have unlocked an append skill, it is unlocked for all copies of that registered servant, if for some reason you have multiple copies of the same servant. Now, while these append skills do sound very attractive, and are indeed highly effective. There is a downside. To unlock each Append skill costs 120 servant coins! This is not easy to obtain, not by any stretch, making each Append skill a very high price to pay, especially for higher rarity servants. But aside from Append skills, servant coins have a second purpose, helping to Grail servants to the nirvana that is level 120. That's right, leveling each servant from 100 to 120 is no longer merely done with a Holy Grail. Though you do still need those. You also need 30 servant coins per palingenesis. And how many levels does this raise the level cap by, you ask? 2. That means grailing one servant from 100 to 120 requires 10 Holy Grails and 300 servant coins. Not only that, it takes the same amount of embers to get a servant from level 100 to 101 as it does from 1 to 100. Believe me, I've experienced this firsthand. In this case, leveling a servant to 120 is more often than not an act of love. It shows your appreciation for the servant, and trust me, you're going to go through numerous trials and tribulations in order to prove it. Servant coins and Append skills are one of the most exciting developments coming to FGO worldwide. And don't worry about having summoned or bonded servants already. Higher rarity servants will have coins given retroactively upon the update, at least if it's anything like JP. Getting servant coins certainly won't be easy, especially for 4 and 5-star servants. And the whole process is very expensive when it comes to in-game resources, perhaps even unfair. But there is an undoubted element of excitement to it, as the skills are legitimately powerful, and it's exhilarating to see Lysandral bring this update to our server far earlier than expected. One final point before I go. If there are servant coins you have for servants you don't like using, say a certain misanthropic, miserable, moaning phantom, in the future, servant coins can be converted into Holy Grails. That's right, 2,000 coins twice per month can net you 2 Grails a month. It's a bit pricey, but once you account for the frame point banner and the existence of all those servants you forgot even existed, it's remarkably doable. This is an exciting update, and I'd be very curious to hear what you all think, so leave in the comments below who you plan to get servant coins for first, or to use servant coins on, and what do you think of the update more generally. And also, what are you excited to see before the next anniversary? Lysandral really are picking up the pace. I've been Seeing Dunes, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.